Before we get started, excuse me for a second. My friend wanted to remind me to turn off my phone, and in light of that, I request that you pull out your phone as well, and a very minimal turn it to vibrate, even better off, but just to be courteous to all those around you, please put it on vibrate. That applies to y'all as well. Also, the organizers would like me to share with everybody that after the concert, there's a reception with food and drink right up there in the, I don't know what that's called, not a foyer, but so in the enclosed space right there. So please stick around after the concert and enjoy some vittles. I do hope you enjoy the concert. So that first piece we played was Genesis by Rossano Galante. And that piece represents a musical journey towards a utopian society and a hope for world peace. And given the current conflicts in the world, I hope we are all hoping for that utopian society and world peace. Before we get started with the rest of our pieces, I'd like to send out a few thank yous. First of all, thank you to St. Paul and the Clinch River Festival organization for inviting us here. We appreciate the opportunity to play here. So thank y'all for having us. Also, I'd like to thank Lemon High School, Mr. Orion Potts, for allowing us to rehearse in their facilities. Also, of course, I have to thank the orchestra members. Without them, I'm just a crazy person waving my arms, so thank you to all the work y'all have done. They drive from all over. Most are from relatively near Lebanon and Abingdon, but we have people that come from Tennessee, Kingsport area, we have Kentucky, so we have a wide breadth of membership. So thank you for all the time y'all spend driving and rehearsing. And finally, actually not finally, also if you look in the back of your program, you'll see a list of sponsors. Each piece we play costs over $100, usually, and sometimes up to $200 plus. So you can see how that adds up quickly when you look at the pieces we're playing now, and then we have different pieces we're playing at other concerts. So without the generous support of individuals and businesses, we couldn't afford the music we're playing. So we definitely appreciate the support of all the sponsors in the back. And then finally, I'd like to thank Google and Wikipedia. I only see a few young people in here, so I'll tell you, I blatantly copied Google and Wikipedia when I'm giving you these little comments about the pieces. Young people, that's not a great way to write a research paper, but it's okay for right now. Our next selection is Romance by Ralph Ford. This piece was initially commissioned as a flute solo to be accompanied by the Laverne Concert Band. During the time of the commission, a student named Heather Asbrooks played clarinet in this ensemble. A few years later, as she was close to graduating as a music educator, she was tragically killed in a car accident on the way to school. In tribute to her memory, the original melodic material was rescored for orchestra and dedicated to Heather's memory. So I hope you enjoy Romance. Our next selection is Josh Groban Gold, arranged by Jerry Brubaker. So who here knows Josh Groban? So I see several hands going up. Of course, he is most known as a singer, songwriter, and actor. And this medley includes 3 songs he is known for: The Prayer, You Raise Me Up, and To Where You Are. So I believe the Clinch River Festival has been celebrating mountain heritage in the Clinch River for about 26 years. Does that sound right to people?
Yes.
Woo! It's according to the website. And part of the celebration often includes a few athletic events, like I think there's is it a 5K or a 5-mile trail run this weekend? So can anybody else think of any other historical athletic events that have been going on for a while? I like audience participation. Yell out, please. Olympics. Somebody's really bright or can read ahead. One or the other, or both. So our next piece is celebrating the Olympics. Some of the heroes. This was written by John Williams and is written for the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta. It's sponsored by, or the songs are requested by NBC, but is also performed at the opening ceremonies. So hopefully our next piece will sound quite familiar to you. And as a special feature of this piece, we have a guest conductor, Mr. John Haggerty, who's an adjunct professor of music and theater at Emory and Henry College. So please welcome to the podium, Mr. John Haggerty. So continuing with honoring the Olympics, we'd next like to play the Olympic Spirit, also written by John Williams. And this was for the 1988 Summer Olympics. Can anybody remember where that was? Any guesses? Guesses are fine. Think far overseas, far to the west, or the far east. Seoul. So the Seoul Olympics. So our next piece, the Olympic Spirit, was written by John Williams, again, at a request by NBC, for the theme song for their television coverage for the Seoul Olympics in 1988. You may have noticed that the whole orchestra wasn't playing in that piece. So that piece was played by our string orchestra, and our next selection will be by the strings alone as well. So, we've talked about a little bit of history. Can anybody think of maybe a famous British rock band that's had a little history of their own, been around for about 60 years or so? That are still living? Rolling Stones, yeah. I agree the Beatles were around for a while, but no more. So our next piece is the Rolling Stones on tour. Of course, those pieces here were written by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, but they were arranged by Patrick Brazil. Of course, as most of you probably know, but I should explain. For the young ones, the Rolling Stones are a British group that were formed in this 1962. Your parents like some of their music. Anyway, so in this piece, Patrick Brazil arranges 3 of their hits: Painted Black, Ruby Tuesday, and Satisfaction, or what more of us might know as I Can't Get No Satisfaction. And the young ones, y'all probably recognize the last piece. For our next selection, we're going back to the full orchestra. Our next piece is Millennium by Richard Meyer. This piece was the winner of the National School Orchestra Association Composition Contest. It features a foreboding introduction followed by the heroic main theme. Then we have a lyrical interlude followed by an exuberant march. And as a special for this piece, we have a guest conductor, Miss Rebecca Sykes, principal of Lebanon Primary School. So please welcome to the front of the stage, Miss Rebecca Sykes. tight stage up here, so we have to dance around some things sometimes. Our next piece is going to be a piece that almost all of y'all know, but it'll be a different way of playing it that some of you probably have heard, but maybe not all of you. Our next piece will be played by the brass ensemble, and it is Amazing Grace. And our version is arranged by Luther Henderson. So most of you know the hymn by John Newton, but you may not have heard the backstory. So John Newton was not the best of guys. He actually worked in the Atlantic slave trade. In a violent storm off of Ireland, he called out to God for mercy. That started his slow conversion. He still continued to work in the slave trade for one more year. But then he ended his seafaring and began studying Christian theology, and later he became an abolitionist and a pastor. He wrote the lyrics of Amazing Grace to accompany a New Year's Day sermon in 1773. And in 1835, the American composer William Walker set it to the tune New Britain, which is the version we're all familiar with. So now we're going to hear an arrangement by Luther Henderson, and he arranged it for the Canadian brass. Who here has heard of the Canadian brass? Oh, we got a few people out there. If you're a brass player, I expect it. If not, I understand. I'll forgive you. But basically, Luther Henderson arranged it in the New Orleans style jazz. So first you'll hear more of a blues feel to it, and then later you'll hear a swing and Dixie feel to it. I hope you enjoy the brass's version of Amazing Grace. So I've already told you I like audience participation, right? So now, I'd like y'all to do what I do. La, 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 la. Congratulations, you just auditioned for the Heart of Appalachia Community Chorus. So hopefully you picked up some lyrics. There should have been some sheets of lyrics back there in the back when you got your program. For our next selection, it's a medley of two pieces that most of you probably know. So I'm going to encourage you to sing along, and I encourage you to sing along loudly. And if anybody gets inspired to get up and dance, there's plenty of room up here. I encourage that as well. So our next selection will be Wonderful Worlds by Victor Lopez, arranged by Victor Lopez. And it's a medley of What a Wonderful World by George Weiss and Bob Thiel, and Wonderful World by Sam Cooke. I'm sure you'll know it, so again, sing along. I thought I saw something. I was trying to look. So, kudos, thank you. Thank you all for coming. Before we play our last selection, I'd like to share a few other concert options you have. First of all, our group will be playing on July 4th, Thursday, July 4th at Lebanon Middle School as part of the town of Lebanon's patriotic celebration, and that will be at noon. So the Lebanon Middle School at noon. Also, many of the ensemble on here on the stage play with the Winds of the Mountain Empire, and we have a concert on Sunday, July 14th. I had a typo. Thank you. July 14th, Sunday, July 14th at 4 p.m. at Union High School in Big Stone Gap. It's an excellent group. I highly encourage you to come out and hear them us play. Again, thanks for coming. I hope you've enjoyed the concert. And now for our final selection. It's a piece that almost all of you will have heard, but some of you may not remember the backstory. So Henry Mancini wrote the Pink Panther. Does anybody know what the Pink Panther actually refers to?
A diamond.
Diamond, yes. So the whole theme of the movie is about a diamond heist. Does anybody know why the diamond was called Pink Panther? Guess, go ahead, guess.
Oh, it's pink.
Well, yes, because it's pink, and also there was a flaw in the diamond that when you looked at it, looked like a leaping panther. So hopefully you can hear the suspense of it was a comedy mystery, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So our final selection is the Pink Panther. thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy the rest of the Clinch River Festival. And remember, there's some food out front.